Yo, what up, world? It's your girl, Carmen Ye.
And this is Yaya Femi.
And we have a special guest tonight. We got Miss Soul in the house.
What's up, y'all?
Tell us about yourself, Soul. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all?
We doing good. Doing good.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
You want to tell the people a little bit about you, what you got going on?
I mean, it's hard. I feel like it's like a typical answer, but I do a lot of stuff.
So humble.
No, I do. Like, I do a lot of stuff, but mainly I own a clothing brand called Vintage Extinction. Everybody knows it by VE.
I've seen it.
So I do that. I style. I also just started doing business consultations. If anybody needs, a one-on-one, sit down with me. I can help you either revamp your current business or, start a business, something that you haven't even started yet. So
that's dope.
I'm doing that. I podcast. I'm a comedian. I take pictures.
Wasn't
model.
Wasn't joking when you say you do it all. Got a lot. Doing a lot.
I just be all over the place, honestly.
That's a beautiful thing. It's self-expression.
For real, it's art. Yeah. It's all art.
For real. And we are happy to have Soul with us today. We are back with something light. Last week, if you tuned in, we were here talking about abuse and healing from abuse. Today, we are back with love and relationships. And we're going to kick it off, like usual, with our conscious cards. Today, we will do one, recognizing emotions. Make faces of 5 different feelings and have other people name them. Why is it important for you and others to be able to name the emotions that you are feeling? So I guess it's 3. I'll go with one. A face.
You look sad.
You look worried.
Worried. It was worried. Yeah, worried.
I can't see from this side.
Worried.
You have the face.
I know that face very well. I've had my days. I've had to worry a few times. And then to answer the second part, why is it important for you and others to be able to name emotions that you are feeling? I personally feel it's important. It's emotional intelligence, and that's how we're able to connect to others and understand, get our needs met, meet other people's needs if necessary. It's a way to connect and read others. Yeah, easy.
Dang, I gotta find a face. I got a lot of facial expressions. I'll give you one that I don't think you've seen before.
That's a girl bye? Is that a...
You look annoyed.
Girl bye. Okay, annoyed.
Yes.
Okay. You do that
That's
one
me
good?
about 80% of the time. So why is it important for me? It's the same thing like you just said. It helps us, connect with one another. You definitely need that signal so you know and understand the assignment.
Definitely. You, Miss Soul?
Ooh.
Surprised?
Yeah.
Surprised. It was a resting surprise though. Like it's still a grounded. It's a cool surprise.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of facial expressions, but I kind of pull myself back. So I'm quick to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Retreat.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
But yeah, I feel like it's good. I always say read the room. So, I mean, when you walk in somewhere or you're dealing with somebody, sometimes you really do need to read their body language or the emotion that they're portraying just to really understand what's coming out of their mouths in regards to interpretation. Because, I mean, everybody has their perception. So,
yeah.
I feel like it also helps to read somebody's body language or their facial expression and know what's going on.
Definitely. Yes. And just like that, we're going to get right into it. Great answers, great faces, ladies. All right, love and relationships, part 2. What does affection, intimacy, and non-sexual closeness look like? Let's kick it off with our guests.
Ooh. I mean, if you're asking me personally, I think it differs to different people. For me, I feel like, what does that look like?
Personally, it's cool.
I feel like it's like that skin to skin or like those personal connections, like not even just physical, like more or less like emotional, intellectually, definitely. Like connecting with somebody. I feel like that's really important.
That's a
you have a relationship
for sure. Intimacy. So you would also say that emotional intimacy important as well. What about you, Yaizi? What does affection, intimacy, and non-sexual?
I like
closeness?
Catering to my man, like not in a sexual way, but like little things. I can rub his feet and just be all up on him, be his spoon, things like that. Like I don't got to do much. and we can be silent in the room and just do that, and we'll have that connection.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
That's a big deal. That being chill, being still,
Yes.
not really having to perform, not really having to go out your way to people please and
Right.
check the temperature. It's just that sense of security, that sense of, I agree with both you ladies. For me, affection and intimacy. I like affection. A form of affection could be helping or asking
Acts of
if
service.
I need help. Because I'm the person, I don't like to ask for help. I'm hyper independent.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So, and it's, and even if I do ask for help, I'm probably coming behind you to make sure you done did it how you know what I mean? So just to understand that about me, know I may not ask, and then come see about me. That is affection. That's a big form of affection for me.
That's why I said emotional affection, because it's like you knowing me.
Yes.
You knowing the things about me that I like. Because my thing is, it's easy for me to say that I can love you in my love language. Like,
Yes.
oh, well, I feel like it's this, is that. But if you're with somebody and they're loving you in their love language, that might not be. That's why I said, like, the emotional aspect of it. If you guys can emotionally be attached to each other to where you know this, that, and the third, or this triggers this person, or
Definitely
or
a big
this
yes.
comforts this person, like just having that deeper connection with each other. So I think it all plays a part, like even doing, like she said, the little stuff. I feel like a lot of people always focus on the bigger picture instead of focusing on little small things within a relationship.
I didn't know what intimacy was until recently, when I started to connect to myself. I had to be intimate with myself. I had to slow bath, wine and dine, lotion up, massage myself. To me, intimacy was sex. That's what I grew up thinking, like, oh, they want to give me a hug, they want to kiss on me. That's affection. But it is deeper than that. You definitely need some emotional weight there for it to feel, to be solid.
Yeah.
I always say that I feel like a lot of men think affection is groping or, sexual things like slapping your ass or, doing something like that. And it's like, that's not always intimacy. Like she said, rubbing my feet or, giving me a shoulder massage,
helping
or
me fold clothes.
Yeah. There's so many different types of intimacy that you can experience with your man outside of it being sexual.
Yeah. Reading together. If that's what you're into, movies, that's a very traditional way to be affectionate and have non-sexual closeness. Tantric, there is tantric. Tantric can be sexual, but there's also like tantric breathing and tantric eye gazing and connecting like that. That's a very spiritual thing. That's on a soul level. Those are other ways to connect with your loved ones. Anything else on that? Affection, intimacy. I'm not gonna lie to a little smack on the ass every now and then. That's cool.
I'm not saying we
balance.
don't. I was about to say, not saying that we don't like it, but there are moments when we don't want to be sexual.
Definitely.
And I feel like as men, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but just from like even having male friends or just knowing men, I feel like most of them just connect sex with intimacy.
Yes.
And it's not always the case. Like if I'm on my, Mother Nature, I might want you to run me a bath or rub my feet. I don't want you groping my ass or doing any of that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it got to be a little bit of a balance.
For sure. Balance for sure. Next, we got understanding your partner's love language. Are they fulfilling yours? Understanding your partner's love language.
I didn't even realize that was next.
You see, you on point. You ready. ready. Yeezy, what you got? Understanding your partner's love language.
Well, that starts with knowing your own love language.
Yes.
Too. Definitely. Did y'all take the quiz? That online quiz? What's your love language?
I think I did that years ago.
Yeah.
But I already knew what my love languages were.
Yeah. I feel like I know what my love language is. I need solitude, and then I need people to be okay with me not being happy me all the time. Like that is the love language, being understood, feeling like you're patient enough to want or have the desire to want to understand me instead of, because I've been through a lot of guilt tripping. I've been through a lot of why are you doing this, or are you okay? Are you okay? If I'm not in my laughing mode. And solitude, stillness, that's a love language for myself. So when I'm with somebody who can appreciate that, give me my space, that's a love language for me.
Yeah.
I hear
I'll definitely
that.
try taking that quiz too. It's interesting though. They have
the
like
link.
quality time, physical touch, acts of service, like gift giving or something like that. they have those. I think there's like one more, and I can't think of it. No, words of affirmation.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So for me, I took the quiz like twice, and 2 came up. It was
She
like
said
quality.
I had to double back.
Yes.
Send me the link. Send me the link. I'll try.
Yes, mine was quality time and physical touch. So that's important to me. That it's always important to know your partner's love language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding love.
Mine
languages.
would be, well, I think it's important, like I said, to know your own love language, and then also know your partner's, because like I said, you may want to be loved in a different way than your partner maybe want to be loved. For me, I like acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
I'm somebody with a lot of responsibilities, and I am like hyper independent, but at the same time, I do like acts of service. Take something off my plate. It don't always have to be financially. It could be you dedicating time to help me do something so that it takes the shorter time for me to do it, or things of that sort, or taking other tasks off my list so that I can get other tasks completed. And then also quality time.
Quality time is definitely important.
Because I'm a talker.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm with somebody, you have to be able, even if you could do half the dialogue, that's even fine with me. Like, I'm just a talker. So like, I podcast in real life. So it's like, sometimes I'd be needing to have somebody to just vocally speak with or talk to about certain things. And I feel like that's an aspect of quality time, just sitting and talking.
For sure. Are you in a relationship now? How are they fulfilling yours, and how do you express? How do you get your needs met? What does that look like?
Just being open and honest. That's one thing about myself. I feel like when I went through my transition of like really knowing who I was in my late 20s, I became a lot more vocal about the things that I enjoyed, because I didn't know, like you said, it's like you have an awakening. You're like, okay, now I understand I don't like these things.
Yes.
These are the things I do like. These are the things that motivate me. These are the things that create these type of tensions in my relationship.
Yes.
These are the things I love about you. These are the things I kind of might not like about you.
Keep it
you
real.
know, just the different things, and just being open and honest with each other about the things that we might come. It might be bumps in the road. There might be things that happen, but as long as you keep open communication with the person you're with, and you guys stay on the same page, I feel like it'll last as long as you let it.
Yeah. When you're honest and expressive, it creates that space to give the person an opportunity to be like, okay, can I do this? Can I provide? And then express.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't have those conversations and just move.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Move with whatever's going on. So it's like, I might feel a way about something you're doing, but I don't know how to properly communicate, so I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. And I'm going to just let it keep building and building and building. And then when I'm fed up, I'm just going to go out and act on however I feel. And then we're just both now not saying anything to each other.
Resentment building.
Exactly.
Tension.
Like, it's, and I just feel like if people were more open about communicating, I think that relationships will last a lot longer.
Yes. That's key. Communication is a key element in any relationship. You got to know how to express yourself. You have to know how to at least make space to understand. You may not understand, but definitely making a space to try to understand. Communication is definitely important in that aspect.
Even when it comes to, sorry to cut you off, but even when it comes to small things, it could be something that triggers you outside of your relationship. It don't even have anything to do with your relationship.
Yes.
But there may be something that triggers you. Like, you might not like people yelling at you. When you're in a certain emotion, like you said, if they read the room and say at the moment you're in that mood where you don't want to talk to anybody and they're yelling at you, that might trigger you. There might be some trauma that you have or something, but they might feel like, oh, well, you get angry at me every time I raise my voice. And it's like, they take it personal. Like, what did I do wrong? You yell at me all the time. Or, you really got to, and that's when you have to be like,
ooh, you got to dissect your trauma for them and let them in. Like,
you have to let people
root.
know why you don't like something or why it upsets you.
Yeah.
Because you leave an open space for people to assume. And that's a lot of things. People give blank statements to each other, and they're just like,
a lot of space to assume. And that's where it goes left when we assuming. Me and my partner, she could be going through something, and I could be assuming that it's because I did something or did not do something. And then I go the whole day without even just, in that moment, all I have to do is, are we okay? A simple yes or no. But instead I let it drag on, and then later on we talk, it's like, oh, you've been distant, and this is just a random example, but in that moment I let my trauma create anxiety instead of just being direct and because I'm sure she would have just reassured me and kept it funky.
No, yeah,
But
that's
we,
what I'm
we
saying.
leave that space to assume, and that's detrimental to the relationship for sure.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Fulfilling yours, are they fulfilling? I'm in a relationship. I feel as though, like you said, I agree with your answer 100%, so I don't even got to chime on that for too long. Expressing, being open and honest, very important. That's how you get your needs met. That's how they learn about you. Don't be embarrassed. There's somebody for everybody out there. It's
Yes.
important. Don't waste your time. It's important for you to learn your love language, whether you're taking a test or whether you meditating and journaling to find out what it is that you need from others, what fills you. Because you'll waste a lot of time. You'll drain yourself if you're not clear. You'll find yourself in a lot of entanglements. Okay.
Right.
Long-term relationships. What makes, okay, we have it broken down here. Consistency. I feel like we all know the textbook definition of consistency, right?
Yeah.
How do you show consistency in your connections? Where is it important to show consistency in your connections?
I would say habits.
Okay.
In a long-term relationship, like you should always have consistency within your habits or the things you're doing.
Yes.
Just so that, because I'm going to be honest, like when you're in a relationship with somebody or you're getting to know someone, once you're together for a certain amount of time, it's kind of like you learn that person's habits, like how they move. And the first thing, what's the first thing you do when you see them do something that's not a normal habit?
Worry, wonder, get concerned.
So yeah, so I feel like you have to build those like strong habits, so that once something's not right, and it's not even in the sense of like, oh, you're cheating or like you saying, you just got to build those strong habits so that you know when something's wrong with your partner, when you're not seeing any, like the habits are like, oh my God, you go to the gym, every morning at 5 a.m. Why is it that you haven't went in 2 days?
What's going on?
Because you've built that habit with him knowing that you go to the gym every morning. And,
yes, I see. There's a routine. There's
because you guys are cohabitating at that point, especially if you're living together. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's good to build routines together so that you guys are not living two separate lives. Because some people are like that too, like where they don't know much about each other. It's like, okay, I just know he leaves for work whenever, and you don't know much about the person. And for me, I feel like that's bad, because what if something happens to that person, or you know, or like I said, or something's wrong and you can't even recognize that something's wrong because you don't know their habits, or you guys haven't built any habits together. So I feel like when you build habits together, and it also gives you an accountability partner.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like how, to sum up what you said, it's like be consistent in how you stay in tune with your partner. Be consistent in how you are in tune with your partner. Habits. That's dope. What about you, Yaisi?
And that
What
shows
does
you
consistency?
like there's more to being in a relationship than just going out, spending money, and having sex.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's my statement.
Yeah.
Like there's more to it. Like there's more to like you said, habits and actually learning each other. Like you two are really in tune with each other. Like that's very important. Yes.
Very important. Something that I personally am experiencing in this lovely, almost 8-month-long relationship that I've been in, right? 8 months seems like a long time in 2022, okay? So, for real, like when you sit and it's like after you go through a few things, it's like it's quicker and quicker to be like, nah, you know, like this isn't. So
trust
8 months
me.
for me right now, it's like, okay, we going places.
Right.
Yeah.
Reaches that 6 month mark, right? Like, okay.
Something that is very important that I stay consistent in this relationship, it comes back to communication. It is being vulnerable, being consistently vulnerable. Consistent. There's been many examples over the past almost 8 months where I'd be embarrassed to say how I feel because I don't want to seem insecure, because I've been called insecure. I don't want to seem as if I'm nagging, because I've been told that I nag. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to control, because I've been told that I control. You know what I'm saying? So being vulnerable and saying, you know, I'm feeling a way, and I make sure that I express it in a way that's like, it's not because you did anything personally to me. It's that from my past experience.
There you go,
you know what I
explaining
mean?
that trauma.
Yes, and dissecting it and unpacking it, and then being upfront and saying, can you reassure me? I need reassurance. Like that is something that is keeping it healthy. That consistent vulnerability, that consistent. It's scary. I say that often. It gets scary, but that's how it becomes solid. That
it
foundation.
has to be awkward and uncomfortable.
Yes,
you guys can get comfortable with each other.
Yes. Yes. For sure. Dating and making it spicy. I'm gonna let you lead with this one, y'all. Easy.
Why you gonna I'm the single one in here.
Dating. Look.
That's why I ain't been. Listen, I'm all right with dating. It's all right.
How can people? What is spicy? Making it spicy.
Well, for long-term relationships, like it's usually spicy in the beginning during the courting stage and the honeymoon phase, but then it's like once all that fades away and you finally, are comfortable with that person, whether you're living with them or not, whatever. Sometimes it starts to die down. Like, damn, this person don't like my pics no more. He don't do this no more.
That's some shit right there.
That's men though. They put up the worst fucking picture of you.
Right.
They be like, why you pick the blurry one?
Right. It's like, you know my angle. You know my filter.
I got 3 chins in this. What are you doing?
They don't think about stuff like that.
Like,
They
I ain't suck it in.
I feel like they do think about it. It's like they find the most undesirable picture of you. Like, yep, this is my lady. Don't go following her now.
You don't want her, she mine. And I'm okay with that. That's funny. I like where you were going though. It's like they don't. It's that keeping it spicy.
That spice, yeah, that flame. Like you got to keep the flame going.
How can one do that?
Just keep the same habits that you had when you first met me. When you first thought when you first found me attractive. Yeah. When you first decided to shoot your shot. Yeah. Keep that energy.
That's
like it shouldn't die down once you get comfortable. Like I'm not going to go nowhere.
Yeah. I can see that, but after being in a 10-year relationship, there are definitely doldrums in the long-term relationships. And I feel like it's going to be like that in every relationship. It's not always going to be exciting. It's not always going to be fun. Y'all going to go
especially once you start adding kids and stuff into the mix. And
yes, you be trying to sneak to make time. Sometimes it be days. With the most I get is a back rub and roll over, and it's like I'll see you in the morning, like good night. So it's sometimes it's a challenge to keep
as long
it
as
spicy,
there's a balance,
but a plan,
yeah.
I think it's important to at least set the intention to plan, a lunch, even if it's a FaceTime and y'all lunching together, like just making that time. I feel like that is a way to keep it spicy, making time.
Yeah, just keep the energy alive, really, because it's not going to be like that 24/7, but still balance.
The sex store, going to the sex store, buying new toys.
Yeah, send a picture or two, video.
Video. That's important. That is important. That's feeding sexual needs. Friendship and emotional support and aligned values. Friendship and emotional support. You said something and it made me think of having that friendship and that emotional support outside of a relationship. In a friendship, I feel as though you have to be able to grow together. That's the way to keep it or make it a long term. If people do not have the same aligned values as you, if people, are resistant to your growth, and that by their passive aggressive comments or they're unsupportive, they don't even know what's going on. They can't tell you the last time. For me, example, I make music or I'm cleaning or the podcast. If I come around my people and they like, oh, what's new with you? Or they can't tell me anything when I'm posting it, I feel like you're not growing with me. You're not really tuned in. So, that's not going to make us that's not going to give us a long-term friendship because I got to feel like I'm connecting. Maybe not every day, not even every week. You know what I mean? But just that aligned growing, want to grow. I feel like that keeps a relationship long term. It keeps it together.
And that should be friends first. Be friends with that person. I think some people just jump into relationships.
You're talking about intimate relationships.
Especially the younger generation. I'm gonna be honest. Like the younger people I know, they fuck first and talk later.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow.
I've been there though. I've done the fuck.
No, I get it. But I mean, just the automatic. Like, I'm not here to judge nobody. I mean, when I was young, I definitely, it might have been we might have been a couple months in, and it was like, okay, here's the goodies. You feel me? But I feel like now, after having a situation where I became friends with someone first, and then we jumped into that, it gave me the idea that, okay, this is somebody that I would actually, because I feel like if you fuck somebody first, I mean, the only thing you're really going to find out is if the sex is good or not. But at that point, you still got to get to know the person. You don't know if you want to be with them. Like, you don't know if you want to be with them. I feel like if you become friends with someone first and y'all build a friendship first, at least you know you have a friend.
That's a recipe for something toxic for sure. If you have sex, like the sex, and are willing to tolerate bullshit because the sex is
that's
so
how
good.
a lot of people end up in
judgment.
situationships like that, you know?
I will say, to keep it all the way funky, I'm the type of person, I know if I want to, like, friendship is cool, but I feel like I know me enough to know if I'm a friend zone you all the way. I understand what y'all are saying as far as like talking and being friends.
I feel like everybody knows that. Like when you meet somebody, you automatically, like when you're vetting them, which I feel like happens before dating, which a lot of people think I'm stupid for saying that, because I got an argument on Facebook about that. Like the first date, if you don't know the person, especially if you're meeting on social media, the first date is not the first date. Like it should just be a meetup. You get what I'm saying? Meet up at Barnes and Nobles or Starbucks and just talk. Because nowadays these men are talking about, if I spend $100 on a date, then you owe me this and you owe me that. My thing is, what if I don't like you? You get what I'm saying? We go out somewhere, you spend $100, I might not like you.
That's why phone conversation. Me
now
and we were
like,
talking about
you
that.
mad at me because I don't want to go on another date and you spent money. So I'm like, to avoid all that, people should be vetting people before
check the vibe.
They start
on
dating.
The phone,
all
that
too.
FaceTime,
Talk to them a little bit.
See the thought process. See if it's even worth your time.
You like a pre-date before an actual date.
That's what I'm saying. Like just do a little pre-meetup so that way you know whether you like somebody. And I feel like everybody knows the first couple 20 minutes that they're meeting somebody is like, okay, I know I could never be with this person. Like, you know, I would be friends with them, but I would never. Or you're thinking like, okay, I could potentially probably date this person. You know, you kind of already have, just like men say, they're like, men know as soon as they meet you if they want to date. I feel like women are the same way. We're very intuitive. So it's like, I know, okay, we could be friends. Or you'd be like, okay, maybe we could be more than friends. So I feel like all women are like that. We kind of already know that before we even start dating somebody.
This is making me look at myself in a certain way, because I'm like, I feel as though when I put people, I can't say that I've ever dated a friend. I might have very strict boundaries around that. I feel like once I meet somebody and we're friends, like I become friends with the people that I'm partners with, of course, that I become intimate with. We build a friendship. But people that I'm friends with, opposite sex, same sex, if it's a friendship, I'm not looking at you like that.
Okay, I get what you're saying. You're
like
saying,
I'm not,
like,
it don't go nowhere, because it's like.
Okay, I get what you mean. So even somebody that you've met that you could see yourself dating, you just automatically date them. You wouldn't like be a friend with them first?
No, definitely be a friend. We become friends. I feel like I'm just a friendly person. So when I'm connecting with people,
But
we kicking it off, we getting to learn.
But that's still you building a friendship with them. Even though I get what you're saying, but I feel like if you're, I'm not saying these people you're friend zoning them, but you're still building with them.
Yeah.
Like I know that I like you. Like I want to be around you. I want to build off your energy, but I don't quite know, because it could be something. We could be on a fourth date and you can be like, oh, I have 4 baby moms and 6 kids. Now I'm not dating you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now we're friends. You're a friend zone. You get what I mean? So
I think it's because we talked about the no sex, like after a few dates. See me, and that could just be the way that I've moved, and I'm just gonna keep it funky. Like I know right away if the passion is there. If I want to have sex, I'm gonna have sex.
It's
and then we
nothing.
keep it
I mean,
building.
there's nothing wrong with that either. But that means that you have a process where you've already
The vetting.
vetted that person.
Yes.
By the time that you're having sex, the timeline doesn't matter. That's whoever's preference. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, I had just came out of a long-term relationship when I got with this person, so I was just celibate at that point. And that's what I needed, because I felt like for me, I was jumping too fast into situations and wasn't vetting people properly like I should have, and been dating them the way I should have. So that's just how I approach the situation from my past, looking at myself, you know, because you look at yourself and be like, okay,
that's definitely relatable.
Maybe you know, because they say if you want a different answer, you got to change the pattern.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing the same shit, nothing's going to change. So that's why I did that. But I'm not saying that you should have the same timeline or anything like that. But as long as you're vetting these people, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Now, what I'm saying is sometimes, though, I've had a situation where you'll really like somebody and you guys will be really good friends, and then you fuck around and have sex, and then the whole fucking relationship changes.
Yeah.
And I hate situations like that.
That's what it is. that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is that I've never experienced that. I've never experienced that part.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, it's like I have like boundaries, and I think it's because of my upbringing and just how I've had to, be in certain environments. And there's lust, there's attraction, because we're human. That's a human
course.
nature. That person look good. I wonder what that's like. But after y'all have established, like, okay, you cool, we cool, it's like it don't pass my mind, and I'm on. You know what I mean? And that's just how it's been. I haven't had that one night of passionate with a friend, and then sound like some movie shit. Sound like some movie shit.
Or it could just be the situation at the time too. Like, I think there's a such thing as right person, wrong time. You can meet somebody that you feel like you have a strong connection with, but they might have something going on. You might have something going on.
Yeah.
You never know. So you might end up putting that person on the back burner, and then you end up dating years later. I feel like every situation is just different.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong.
No, not at all. I don't take it that way.
I think it just
love
really
your
depends
openness. I love your
on the
openness.
situation. But I think that you should have a friendship with the person. I mean, some type of friendship, as long as you're doing the vetting. Some people are not. That's what I'm saying. You're talking to this person online for 3 months. Y'all link. Y'all Netflix and chilling or whatever. You get what I'm saying? There's no vetting process. You don't even know if you're comfortable around this person.
Yeah.
And now
For
you're
sure.
stuck in a situation where y'all are alone. And I just feel like, especially as women, I just feel like we should vet.
You got to be more careful for
Yeah.
sure. There are no rules. What works for you, of course. There are no rules. I definitely feel as though it's my trauma that keeps me, I don't waste my time. And like you said, it is a vetting process. And if you already talking to me, then I've checked you out or I sent something. Anything else to that? Emotional support and aligned values. Y'all got anything for that? Emotional support, aligned values?
I mean, I think that's a big thing, because my thing is, if I'm going to go a little deep. So say if I'm the type of person that comes from a family where we go through a lot of grief, or we go through a lot of mourning, or, death, or things of that such, and you've never experienced that, you have to learn to be an emotional support for me.
Yes.
Because, sometimes some people haven't been through anything, so they don't really know how to be an emotional support. And I've seen situations like that happen where, someone close to me might lose somebody and their spouse doesn't know how to comfort them or be there for them or do the things they need them to do. So I think emotional support is important, even if you don't know how the emotion feels.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us, we go off of what we feel instead of going off of what somebody else is feeling. I'm an empath. So I feel like if something happened to you, we don't even personally know each other, but if you would have walked in here and be like, I have to cancel because it's like, I feel whatever you feel.
Yeah.
And I might not even know you. So I feel like I always have an emotional connection, but some people are emotionally unavailable. So
Yes.
you really got to learn the type of person you're with. Now, if you're two unemotionally available people, maybe you might be good for each other. That's why I feel like you should date whatever relates to you, because you don't want to be with an overly emotional person and you're emotionally unavailable.
Yeah. That doesn't matter. That doesn't
It's
align
not going to
at
work
all.
out.
Yeah. You got anything for emotional support?
It's coming to me.
It's coming to you. I'ma
I
say
think I got some.
And aligned values, you just never know if you're going to have kids.
Yeah.
That's another thing when you're dating somebody. So you definitely got to have values that align.
for sure.
You don't want to be raising kids with two different sets of values.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm telling
Yes. And I can speak to that from personal experience. Spirituality. For example, me, I'm not the one to tell my kids Santa and Tooth Fairy and things like that. And then, other households, they're so it's like a mixed message, those things are definitely key when getting to know people on a serious level, if that's what you're looking for in that person. I wanted to go somewhere with emotional support. And this isn't, when I talk about I'm thinking friendship, I'm thinking about non-intimate, not romantic, platonic as well.
Yeah.
But that emotional support, I like how you said, grieving, mourning. I used to not know. I used to try to come and fix. You know what I mean? I see somebody sad. How can I fix it? What can I do? Sometimes that can overwhelm people if they are dealing.
It
Sometimes you just need
overstimulates
to
people.
be. You just need to be with that person. Just be there with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I had to learn. And it didn't make sense to me because, I am a hyper, anxious. I have high energy, fast energy. So I'm used to something go wrong. And that could be my trauma too, a quick defense type of mode thing. Some people aren't built like that. So it's important to be able to sense empathetically.
Well, even I'm going to be honest though, like even being an empath can be bad because I'm the type of person where, like I said, I always have an emotional connection with people, and I used to have to check my own self with saying like, I know how you feel.
Yes.
I've been there, or trying to relate with them with a story of my own to say that we're here together. But honestly, everybody's trauma is not the same. It doesn't matter. Me, you can have the same exact thing happen to us, and we could feel two totally different ways about it. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the last thing anybody wants to hear when they're mourning is, I know how you feel. Because no, you don't. Because that would be my defense as somebody mourning. It's like, no, you don't. You don't know how I feel. Like, even if it happened to you years ago, or someone that it happened to, I think that's like one of the things that as an empath you have to kind of like retract from and just let people talk. It's like, even if you're feeling that, it's like, I could feel that, and maybe talk to them maybe down the line about it, maybe years later or on the anniversary, maybe you guys can have that conversation. But when they're first going through their mourning stage, don't
make it about you.
Exactly. And stay away from, I know how you feel, or I know that this, or that. Like, don't use distinctive words. It's kind of like just offer whatever you can offer.
What
like
can I do for you?
Exactly.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. What can I do for you? That's really, I agree.
And then sometimes, depending on the person, don't ask. Because like you said, if they're hyper independent, like somebody like me and you, it's like, no, I'm good. Don't even, and deep down inside, I might need that. So you got to kind of read the energy and just be like, you know what? I'm going to come over. I'm going to cook a meal, drop it off. Even if you don't want to see me, I'll bring it by, or just do for those people so that they don't have to, like you said, you don't want to be overstimulated. You got all these people asking like, do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? You don't really, it's like, y'all know I'm going through it. It's like, do what you can.
That's why it's a beautiful thing when you have a tribe of people who get you and they carry you. You know what I mean?
That's why emotional connections are important.
I'm grateful to have the friends that I have, for sure. Yeah.
'Cause they know. Because, my friends will say that. Like, you'll speak to my really close friends and they'll say they know me. You get what I'm saying? My routines and how I move. And they would know that I probably wouldn't reach out and be like, hey, you guys, could you, it's just, they just know. Like, they'll tap in or just be there.
Yeah.
So, like, it got to be an emotional connection with all types of relationships that you're building. Those are the important relationships.
Yeah. It does look different for me, from personal experience. I could say, and my friends know this, I'm that friend. I'm there for whatever, but I'm not really good at, I make space for people, but I'm working on holding it, because I'm really protective of my energy. I'm really protective of what I allow others to share with me, because I've been through shit and I've always had to process it and work through it on my own. So when people come to me and they want to vent, it's a difference between venting and ruminating and staying in a problem and, dwelling. And if there's a need to release, we release it. I have my ways about going about it, but I am that friend that's like, I don't have the capacity right now. Tell me how I can show up for you though.
And honestly, as a friend, before you even do that, there's times where I call my friends and you check the energy. Like, if I know that I have to vent, I'll be like, hey, how's your day going? Can I talk about some things?
Very important.
Because, and then it'll be times my friend be like, yo, I just finished doing this and doing that. Like, I'm overstimulated. Like, my anxiety's racing. Like, I'm having a bad day. Like, let's regroup tomorrow. And we'll both vent to each other. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, as the friend calling, you should also be aware of what's going on. Like,
we'll
check
call
the
that
temperature.
Energetic consideration. Have some energetic consideration for
on both
people.
ends.
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
Never know.
And even if it's something small, like even if it's not, as serious as death, like make sure, they feel like they're valid.
Validating.
I used to have that issue with my friendships. Like if I was going through something real light and I know that I'm going to get over it like the next day, I don't need to feel like what I'm going through is not a big deal, if that makes sense. Like I don't need my feelings to be invalidated.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
That's harsh.
Yes.
That's cold. That's not connection. That's dismissive. That's that's not,
like, for example, like if I have like an anxiety attack, I get my episodes here and there, and sometimes like I will text like some old friends that I'll have, and people just like, what's your problem now? What's your problem now? You mad about that?
Yeah.
Girl, of all things to worry about. Like I don't need to hear that. Just be there.
That's very cold.
Yes.
And That's cool. That's the opposite of empathetic.
Yeah.
When you say empath, I'm a true believer. We are all empaths. We are just a lot of us in this realm. We're kind of distracted. We're not doing our spiritual hygiene, so we're not able to get in tune with people in our environments. But I believe we all have that ability.
I'm very tapped in.
Yeah, I believe we all have that ability, and I feel like that's why we're here to raise. Like, you don't gotta look a certain way. You don't gotta do. You definitely got to do certain things.
Yeah.
You need to slow down, get in tune, and become sensitive to people around you. Be considerate. Be present. Be aware.
Yeah. And you don't have to absorb their energy, but just be present.
You don't have to absorb.
Yeah.
I was going to make a status about this today. We say don't absorb, but we do absorb.
Yeah.
Every interaction, everything will leave think of like a fireplace and like soot. And how it's like a residue.
Yeah.
Even positive exchanges, it leaves a residue. So it's very important for you to be mindful and aware of the environment you're in, how you are connecting with people. And if you are making space for your people, have a ritual that you can cleanse yourself with peacefully, not to reject your friend and what she's carrying or he is carrying, but to just, peacefully release it, because you will carry that with you into the rest of your day, into the next day if you don't cleanse. I guess cleanse your aura, if you will. Important. Thoughts on marriage. Is it overrated? Time limit on proposal and weddings. Thoughts on marriage.
I guess it can feel like it's overrated if you married the wrong person and you rushed because you just wanted the wedding and not the actual marriage.
I see people. I've heard of that
I'm about to
mentality.
say, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I don't know. To me, it's just like, it's preference. Like, it just depends on you. Like, do what makes you happy. Like, if you love somebody that much, you want to marry them, do it. You feel me? If you don't want to get married, then find somebody else that doesn't want to get married. Or if y'all want to get married and have an open relationship, find somebody that wants to get married and have an open relationship. I just feel like everybody should just do what makes them happy.
No rules. No rules.
Stop worrying about everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people, like she said, they have that ideal wedding and all these things to kind of impress other people, and then you end up with a spouse that you barely even like.
Right.
They just look good for pictures. It's like, you don't want to be that person.
For sure. Marriage, is it overrated? Me personally, I don't think it's overrated. I think if you can find a connection with somebody, a partnership, somebody that you can grow with, do business with, laugh with, play with, cry with, go through hardship with,
raise kids
with, build a legacy with, inspire and uplift each other, then I say go for it. If if you feel it, only you will know. When I was younger, and this was probably my trauma, and seeing my parents be divorced and all my friends, their parents were divorced, I'm like, man, fuck marriage. What is that? It's just a piece of paper, blah, blah, blah. And that was my younger, immature mentality. I was like
that for a long time, too.
Yeah. And that's since changed. Now it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful.
No, yeah, I definitely think marriage is a beautiful thing, but it also gave me a higher expectation for myself.
Yes.
Because it's like, if I do, instead of thinking the way like you said you used to think, which is how I used to think, instead of looking at it like that, I look at it like, I got to be better than the people that I seen as examples in a marriage. Yes. So I got to be a better woman. I got to be, you get what I'm saying? And I got to be better with my decisions on who I'm deciding to marry. And,
yes, decision making, very important.
And like I said, have those conversations with that person. Like I said, you got to have really deep conversations and know a lot about each other before you decide to marry away for the rest of your life. Like, people have to take it a little bit more serious.
See, and it's funny because I'm talking about, like, I don't really do friendships and dating and stuff, like, because it's like on day two of meeting, we're asking questions like, do you have money spending problems, or are you codependent, or tell me, like, we get right to it, because we not playing out here in 2022 post-COVID when niggas is dying every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we take life very serious. We're very intentional with our time. So to be clear on those type of things early is important.
The sooner the better.
Time limit on proposal. I'm not a big, I like to each his own, like you said. Go elope in Vegas or plan it out next year.
I want to elope. I don't want to have no big wedding.
Right.
Me too.
Make it fun.
I don't want a big wedding.
Make it fun.
I don't want to spend $10,000
like, I'll come
on a
back
wedding
and have a reception for everybody, but I definitely think that I'm gonna end up eloping.
I see me in the forest somewhere under a full moon. Okay, by the pond.
I'm gonna spend that wedding money to travel. I'm not.
Yes.
not spending all that money for a bunch of people to just sit there and eat my food.
Right. I was talking about this with a friend of mine who will be getting married. I'm like, I would make it like spiritual, where it's like a potluck. And that may sound tacky, but like everybody comes with an offering, a theme, people dressed up, come with an offering, a dish and beautiful dishware. Like make it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be, the most Vanity Fair. Is that the magazine, Vanity Fair? Those bridal magazines. What it looks like for you is what it will be for you. And
that's what I'm saying. Some people have the big princess dream, the big dress, the family.
And that works too.
And I'm going to be honest, like that is, honestly, it's a spiritual ritual.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It is something that is a big thing. You guys coming together as one, you have both families there. It's very important, especially if you're very religious or spiritual. I say do it. I mean, me personally, I'm just very, like you said, I'm very protective with my energy. So I don't feel as though that I wouldn't want to have a big ceremony. Just because I wouldn't know. I don't know that many people that I would want bringing energy into my marriage.
Yes.
So
I feel you on that. Reception, are we turning up?
No, yeah. Y'all kind of reception. We already in here.
Yeah. So. No, what about time limit? Do you have a time limit? Like, what do you?
No, because I know people who have gotten engaged and were engaged for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think proposal time limits are, I don't know. I don't have a time limit.
I don't either. I'm with the feel. I'm with the flow and with my gut, my senses,
and the person you're with. Because my thing is, you don't want to put a time limit on somebody and they propose just because they got a time limit, not because they want to propose.
Right.
That's what a lot of
pressure.
people do. Yeah.
That's fear.
Like I want
ultimatum,
them to propose because they really love me and want to be with me,
right?
Not because they're scared I might leave. Like, because we already starting it off with bad energy.
Yeah, for real. I like.
But if you do have a time limit, that's when you find somebody else. There's plenty of men that are like, I'm trying to find a wife in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Right. Because some people are looking at it from a business standpoint too.
That's
They're
what
like,
I'm saying.
I got this
so I
plan.
just feel like just be aligned with people that are aligned with you.
That's what it comes down to. Cheating. Why do people cheat? Why do people cheat? Why do people cheat, y'all?
I think there's a lot of reasons why people cheat.
It could be many reasons, yeah.
They are unfulfilled within themselves.
Yeah, within them. Thank you for saying that, within themselves.
They're not
because
keeping it funky.
we tend to blame other people for fulfillment, and you can fulfill somebody. You can do everything. You can be like A1 on every little thing, catering to them, fucking them right, cooking for them, and raising their kids and ain't even your fucking kids, and they will still cheat on you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like those kind of situations, that's where it's like you need to be real with yourself and say, am I even built for this monogamous lifestyle?
Yeah.
Because there's options.
Be honest
Either
with
that
yourself.
or am I with the right partner? Because that's another thing.
Yes.
Like people end up with people that are not their ideal partner. And now you cheating. Like, perfect example, like you'll have the men who get the woman that's good for the look, but they might like freaky nasty women.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you might be with the little, very religious woman or something that looks good for the family picture, but then you're cheating out with strippers or women who are sexually free and what you really do like, or the women that do the things you really do like. And it's like, instead of just taking your mask off and letting people know what type of women you like, they get married to the prototype and then they cheat.
And I feel like we can get real far when we take off that mask and say, it's a way to present things.
And women
to
do
people.
It too, because I don't want the men to try to drag me.
Oh, we're not male bashing at all.
Because women do it too. Women will get the gremlin looking man that they don't have no sexual attraction to. He just might have a lot of money, or he might give them financial stability, or give them the life that they want, but he's not attractive and they're not sexually attracted to him, and then they're cheating. You get what I'm saying? So I think it just has to do with being with a partner that you enjoy on every level, so that you don't run out trying to fill those voids.
Filling voids, because that's what it is. So clear communication and knowing yourself and what you need, not just going after what looks good or what fits this version that you have imagined for yourself. I do want to talk about different forms of cheating, because it doesn't just have to be sexual or physical for it to be cheating. There is emotional cheating. There is boundaries. There's a difference between having a friend that you vent to, or I've heard of people's situations, work buddies, people who go to work and they become like an office wife or an office husband, and every time there's an argument, you know, y'all literally, that's all y'all connect about. Y'all talk
Right.
about your relationship problems, and now instead of going to your wife or going to your partner, you're not going to express and be clear with them. You're going to your work wife or work buddy or whatever, and you're giving them what you should be investing into your relationship. That is a form of emotional cheating, and that is not good for your
Work is a crazy
situation.
place.
Yeah, it is.
Yo.
I done seen some shit.
Yeah.
When I was in corporate America, it stayed dangerous, and it'd be the married,
Stay
and it'd be the married ones. Like we have a whole work wives,
carnival.
and work husbands and shit, and it all ain't low.
Yeah, that's wild. It's wild. That's human nature shit, though. But boundaries are necessary. Another form of cheating. We just saw this on a meme. Object cheating. There's a such thing called object cheating, where say if somebody has a hobby, like they like to do something, they're investing so much time into that hobby and they're neglecting their duties and their relationship. That is a form of cheating. You are cheating your partner out of their time, out of their connection to go invest it. That's why balance is important.
Yeah, like video games, like somebody playing video games and they're pretty much like neglecting their real life.
Yes,
pretty much.
That's called object cheating.
Wow.
Google it. I ain't making this shit up.
I mean, that's kind of real, because even if you speak to individuals, they'll say like, oh, I spend a lot of time with my significant other, and then you ask them like, so are y'all just in the same house, or are y'all actually spending time?
Yeah.
Because I think people don't understand the definition of quality time. You could be sitting right there with your feet up while he's playing the game, but y'all ain't spending no time. You spending time with them niggas he on the game with.
Right.
Yes.
So they're two different things. Like, I think people associate just us physically being around each other to being, oh, we're spending quality time. No, you guys are not interacting with each other. So it's not quality time. So I do see that being a thing.
That's stagnant. That sounds stagnant. And you know, I got to bring it back to self. You cheating on yourself if you ain't being real with yourself. If you are accepting things, if you're accepting neglect, if you're accepting abusive behaviors, if you're accepting lack of communication, you're cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself from happiness and connection that you could have with yourself, with the partner. I just had to throw that up in there. Is cheating a deal breaker? I want to hear y'all answers on this, because I don't know if I'm mature enough for this.
It's subjective. It's subjective, honestly. I know there are certain things that are deal breakers. Like, I know point blank period. I feel like once you get into a marriage, that's number one. It's a whole different playing field in regards to cheating. And then in regards to, are we bringing children involved? You get what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of women who their men go out and have children. That's one thing that I wouldn't be able to tolerate.
Yeah, that's humiliating.
It's a lifelong responsibility. And then it's also built around trauma. Yeah. I don't want to have a lifelong responsibility built off of my back of trauma.
Right. Ooh.
So unfortunately, I mean, I'm not saying anyone's bad for doing that. You get what I'm saying? But just me personally, emotionally, I know that wouldn't be something that I'd be able to move forward with.
Yeah, I'm with you. Once that trust is shattered, I can't, you know, there's counseling, but it's still in my head, like, how did this happen in the first place?
Right.
How could you make that decision? I've never cheated. I can say that I've never cheated sexually. I've cheated emotionally. Does it hold the same weight? Some might say yes, cheating is cheating, right? But that sexual act, I don't know if I could come back from that, because that to me, that takes a different level of betrayal. Like, you know, speak up, say take a break. We need space. You know what I mean? There's other ways around it.
I'm saying there's levels to it, and it's like, once a baby's involved, that means that there was unprotected sex, or you get what I'm saying? Like, there was so many different levels of disrespect that were done. Yeah, for real. At that point,
you can't come back.
It's too many damn STDs in the world for you to just be sleeping with people and think you could just come back to me, put my body at risk.
That's what I'm saying.
For a quick nut.
And then not only are you stuck with that individual, now I am for 18 years. If I decide, and I know, because I had, you know, friends growing up, and they would have like half siblings, and it's like, you know, then they would have to explain like, oh, well, that's my parents been married for 20 years, but my brother is 15. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, that's something that gets passed down. Like, I think people should be very smart on how they move, because one day your child is going to become an adult,
Yes.
and they're going to have to deal with all the things that you put out there, the
Ooh,
cards
yes.
that you dealt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't want to be that individual. I don't want to have to explain to my children
Yeah.
my whole life.
I love how you worded it. You said,
Yeah.
I don't want that trauma built on my back. It's like, that's your lineage. That's what's following you. And it's not clean. It's
Every
not
holiday,
pure.
I
Yeah.
have to relive the fact that you had a baby on me when she drops him off. And then I also
Ooh.
have to deal with interacting with
Ooh.
this being and being emotionally conscious of how I'm moving, because we all know that when you're dealing with trauma and triggers and things of that such, there are things that you may do that you may not be proud of. You know what I mean? You might shade the kid without even knowing that you're
Right.
shading the kid, because you have an
Yeah.
emotional disconnect with that baby now,
Yes.
because that's somebody else's child with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that happen a lot too, where now the child is neglected because you don't want to take that role, because
That's
it hurts
ripple.
you.
Ripple effects.
And that's what I'm saying. It's all, and then it's going to build a generation. It could build a generational curse. And I wouldn't want to deal with that. But like I said, I'm not judging anybody else. If you're strong enough to hold, to hold your own and deal with that, I commend you.
Yeah. For real.
I really do.
Would you forgive someone who cheated one time? Why do people blame the victim? Yeah, what did you mean by why do people blame the victim?
We tend to blame the victim, especially women. Like, if a man were to cheat on me, people would be like, well, what did you do? Well, why didn't you do this? And you can't keep a man. You know what I mean? It's like me not doing my job, not playing my part in a relationship.
I think that's
That's-
society.
Yeah.
Like, I think society paints that picture of, because they paint the picture of, like, even when they say if women cheat, it's like the end of the world. You get what I mean? But if a man cheats, it's like you said, something's wrong. You weren't, doing your job, or you won't. I feel like the whole world has put that mindset into us, even as women.
Yes.
As a woman, I mean, this, I was younger, but I've been cheated on and been like, what did I do? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As women, we go straight to ourselves and be like,
Yes.
well, what did she do? Or what did she have that I didn't have? Or what did she do for you that I didn't do? Or
That's something we definitely do as women. I'm not proud to say that I've definitely looked at other women to compare. It's a natural thing. It's to compare and say, well, what does she have? Or what is she similar to me? That's something, and you will drive yourself crazy
Yeah.
doing
You will.
that. So you have to come to some sense of peace in knowing it has nothing to do with you. People gonna make their choices.
Yes.
It has nothing. The moment they made that choice to step outside, they didn't discuss that with you, so it wasn't your doing. You
Yep.
are not wrong. You are not at fault. If it happens to you, you did not deserve that. You deserve clear communication. If somebody can't keep it real and say they done, then that's not for you. That's disrespectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, don't do that. I hate people who gaslight people like that. Like, oh well, if you'd have knew how to cook, or like, I hate shit like
Right.
that.
Like
Like,
cooking,
you
though.
you ain't give a fuck. Well, I mean, I know how to cook, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
as a woman, like, there's things that men say online. I see it all the time. It's like, y'all bitches don't even know how to cook, but
Right.
y'all want a nigga to be faithful if I'm paying all the bills.
When I see shit like that, I'm like, they joking, right?
I
They
get the
playing.
right to cheat, and it's like, how do you feel that because you're doing your job, you get the right to cheat? So you're trying to tell
Right.
me if I could cook, if I could clean, if I could bear children, I could cheat? Like, that's what I be getting from that shit.
Nah,
It's
that's
like,
wild.
Right.
that doesn't make any sense, but that's how some people think.
It doesn't have to be cheating. It does. You don't have to cheat. Just be real with yourself
And
be
you
real
don't
with
even
who
say
you
nothing
with.
to your partner, because my
Yeah.
thing is, they'll be like, oh well, you don't cook enough. You never even asked me to cook.
That's a
Right.
different thing when you don't open
You
up your
never
mouth
made
to
a,
get your needs
when you met me, you knew I didn't
Yo.
cook. So why are you now all of a sudden saying you cheated because of that?
strange.
You never.
That's
Right.
strange.
And
that's
that's what I
not a
mean.
reason to cheat anyway. That's not a valid. There is
Just
no
saying,
reason
men
to
always
cheat.
make up all
They
types of
say
shit, or
anything.
you wouldn't do this or you wouldn't do that. Like, did you ask her?
That's
Maybe she
selfish.
would have sucked your dick from the back. You ain't asked her.
You funny.
I'm just saying, like, it's always a
You never
like,
know.
oh, she, they always have some dumbass excuse, like, oh, well, she was freaky, or she's freakier, or she was like, you didn't even ask your woman, Like,
Right.
I've never been in a situation where it's like you come back and ask, like, why did you do this?
Mm-hmm.
I done seen so many situations, girl. I'm a people watcher, like, even with my friends' relationships and everything, like, I live vicariously through them. So
Yeah.
I've done heard and seen some shit.
You observe,
And it's like, wow.
process
Like,
it.
I be just like, wow.
And we're back. And we're going to pick up right where we left off. Behind the scenes, Soul asked the interesting question. Being in love with two people at the same time, or loving two people at once. And I'm going to let you lead with that.
Yeah, I was just wanted to ask you guys, like, do you think that can happen? Do you think that somebody can be in love with two individuals at the same time?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's possible. Me personally, I have been in a situation where I had a lot of love, and I could have forced it to work, but it wouldn't have been good for either one of us. And to this day, I still have love. But I am also loving someone else, and I'm happy with this someone else, but I still hold a love. It's not that I hold it, but it's not something that's just gonna go away. You know what I mean? It just, sometimes you gotta make that decision and set boundaries. You know what I mean? That now, loving two people don't mean you get to go play that game and keep in contact and do that, hey, just thinking of you type shit like that. That's where discipline and just having an understanding of what y'all had, appreciating it. So I think it is possible.
I was gonna say, like, I say yes, because even if you are in love, like, love has no limits, but I don't believe that you can be in love with two people equally.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think. And I've never been in that situation before, so it's going to be hard for me to even really answer that question. But that's what I think. I feel like you're always going to love one person more than the other, no matter what. You're always going to do more. You're always going to show up more for one person than you will. You can love them both, but it's just not going to be, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, and that is what we were saying as far as there being levels to love. And then, so you went into something that I thought was very interesting as far as the in love. And you gave me a fresh perspective, because I'm like, what is in love? Like, because love is love. I'm one of them people. Love is love. I love my friends. I'm in love with my kids. I'm in love with my people. I love people. But Soul went on to say something beautiful about, just that in love, the closest thing to what you would have for your children. And
yeah, I was saying that when you're in love with somebody, because you said you don't know what in love, like the definition of it is, and I feel like it's very open. It's not what the fairy tale is. It's more or less just like an emotional connection. So I would say it's close to being like your child. So when you really love somebody to the point where like a lot of women, like I said, when they're dating a man, the man is looked at as the protector. So there are women who might be out with their man, and not saying that they're not in love with them, but like I said, there's levels to it. I feel like if you really love your man, you're also going to protect him as well. It's like you take on that additional role in each other's lives. Like your man might even have a feminine side for you that he portrays to you, that you guys connect on that level. He doesn't wear his mask. And the same thing with you. It's like you can show your, more masculine sides around that individual. You just feel more comfortable. Like, I just feel like it's just a love and a bond. Like I said, the closest thing I can describe it as is my child.
Yeah. And I could see that. And I appreciate like that, the depth of that. And to me, I could call it in love, but to me, that's like a deep trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love a lot of people. I could say I'm in love with a lot of people, and it's not just all romantically. Like I was saying, I'm in love with my friends. I care what they got going on. I'm trying to show up. But there's like a deep sense of trust that I don't have with some of my friends, like I would have with that person that I'm loving on a deeper level. That's what, like, so that's where it's like the levels of love come in. But I love how you put it.
It's like family.
Yeah, like family.
If you really look at it, like, it's like family. And it's kind of like what you're saying. Like, I have girlfriends who are my girlfriends, you feel me? But then I also have girlfriends who are family.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? And I love them on a way deeper level. Like, those are individuals who can call me for anything. If I got it, it's yours. You get what I'm saying? Like, those type of relationships where, like, you show up and show out for those individuals. We see each other on our bad days. Like, things like that where you can be 100% open and honest with that person as well. That's why I feel like in love is like, it's kind of like when you drop the ego.
Yes.
And that's another big thing. Like, you don't have to worry about having on your bonnet or not having your lashes done, or they see the ugly, or they know the bad sides of you, or like I have really bad anxiety, and I also have ADHD. You feel me? Like, you could really just take it all off, and they can see you at your rawest moments.
It's so beautiful.
Yes, I mean, like, that's what like being in love is, and I didn't feel that. I thought I was in love with certain people just because I was infatuated with them.
Yes.
Or I had soul ties to them, or
had to learn a lesson real quick.
yeah, you know, like, you know, they was either, you know, a lot of them were, some of them were L's, but some of them were lessons. It just depends on what God was trying to teach me at the moment. But yeah, like, I just feel like it's levels to this shit, and
Definitely.
you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you're gonna know. Watch, it's gonna happen. You gonna be like, yo, this is what she was talking about.
I know that I've had that comfort.
Like, you hear them
that
Jodeci
comfort.
songs, and they just like,
Baby, won't you just stay?
Yeah,
See, I haven't had
right.
that begging type, because that's my trauma, y'all. It's my trauma. I have like this level of detachment.
No, but that's what I mean. You have a level of detachment. So
Yeah.
the day when you find yourself emotionally connecting with a song, thinking about that individual, or emotionally connecting in any way,
I experienced that though. I experienced that.
it's gonna be on a whole nother. I'm telling you, girl, you're gonna start planning out your wedding. You're gonna be like, oh, okay.
I've done that too, but it's like it's love. It's just like a certain. It is love. I've done all that, but I can't. I have this idea of when we say in love, I'm in love with you, or I love you so much, or I love you more. It's like, what does all that even mean?
I don't
It's
think
just love.
the whole I love you more and all that stuff. That's a little too much, because we don't need to do all that.
Exactly.
You know, there's no really, it's no point of upping the other, and it's just we in love. Like, because you could love somebody but not be in love with them. That's another thing. I could love everything about you, but we have no emotional connection. You feel me? We don't click. There's a lot of things that me and you just don't click on. We don't have good energy together. Like, you don't pour into me, I don't pour into you, but I still love you. You're an amazing person, but we just don't click. You get what I mean? So I think it's just two different things.
Yeah. But then to me, it's like, well, I'm not going to say I love that person then. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I have love and I respect. I feel like, it's like, if we don't align, if we not pouring into each other, you're probably not in my realm. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the word love, like the way that it is.
I'm just saying, not saying that the relationship starts like this. I'm just saying, you know, down the line, you start realizing, like, okay, you're not pouring into me, or you're not doing this, and it just doesn't. I still love you. You're still an amazing person. We hung out for 6 months. We went on vacation. We have so much fun together. But outside of that, we have no connection. You get what I'm saying? We have nothing in common. Like, you know, we might not even have the same.
I got love, not in love.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love you. You're a great person. I even have friends like that where they're great people. You know, I have fun with them. You know, we have good times. I love them, but I'm not 100% vested in the same things that they're vested in.
And you have love.
Exactly. But
you keep it, yeah.
So I feel like it's like that with relationships. There's a lot of people you're going to meet. People are to be experienced, not possessed. So it's like, me and you could have came into my life to show me that I can be charismatic. This might be the man that takes me out dancing, and I find a love for dancing, but he still might be annoying, has 3 babies, you get what I'm saying, has things, or he might not be financially stable, or
the lessons.
You get what I'm saying? It's just certain things that it might just not work out. I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
I got it. It's the idea of the in love. That's where it's like I hit the wall, because it's like in love. There's no real separation. Love is love. It's just the trust. What sounds watered down? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lionel. You gave me the words, because it's like that in love. It just sounds like movie shit to me at this point, because it's like, nah.
But it should be the
love is love.
opposite,
Even when
though.
you love, when you are with somebody, you're not always gonna love them. There's gonna be moments where you can't even look at them, and it's like, yo, how, why? Trauma triggers whatever, just a day, but you still have a deep trust, and you know that this person is not gonna do you wrong, even though they might not like you right now or love you or haven't even talked to you, but you know that you can count on them to be them. That's a deeper trust. And I love a lot of people, but I can't have that with a lot of them people. But that person that we are saying I'm in love with, it's not just in love, it's in trust. We in trust. Woohoo!
I think it's everything. Like you said, it's in love, it's in trust, it's in indifferent, it's in in everything. You get
unconditional.
I'm
unconditional with you.
Without condition.
Yes.
Like, that's why I said it's so different. It's like your kids. Yeah. It's just like how you see, and I'm not saying that she's right for this. It's just like the dude that shot up the school. His mom is on TV arguing for him, because at the end of the day, that's her baby. You get what I mean? I'm not saying that that's right, because I'm one of them type of people. My son do some crazy shit, lock him up. You get get what I'm saying? I'm still gonna love him. I'm still gonna put money on his commissary. He's still gonna have to fly his boxes, briefs, and all that in there. You get what I'm saying? He gonna have
all
his
the flavors of noodles.
You get what I'm saying? But he's still gonna be in there because nobody told you to do that. But you still love your kids unconditionally. No matter what they do. You get what I'm saying? So, and there is unconditional love.
Definitely.
Like you meet somebody and it's like, I love you unconditionally. Like I'm willing to be there up, down. It's like when you get married. That's why I say you take them vows. That's literally saying like me and you are stuck. It's up and it's stuck.
That comes with finding or coming in contact with that soul and that spirit that resonates. And that's where that trust, that unconditional.
I mean, if you want to take it spiritual, and I'm a spiritual person. That's what I'm saying. I think it's just like kind of like how people say soulmates. Like it's like you meet that person where y'all just align so well that it's love. That's what I think being in love is, like when y'all become one.
Yes. Okay, well then I'll say I've been in love.
Okay, you can fall out of love. It's not, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not like you around the world. That's what I mean. It's not like the movies where people make it seem like you fall for this person and it's for everything. Even with marriage, you fall in and out of love with your spouse. You get what I'm saying? It's going to happen, but when it's there, it's there. Like,
like you said, when it's up and it's stuck. Yeah, when it's trust.
The way you describe love, mind you, I just hit a blunt earlier, so I'm like deep in my thoughts just listening to you. It's crazy because now that I think about it, and I have told people I love them, and I love people, like the people that I dated, but I was never really in love.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that, I've had attachments. I let go of attachments. I had soul ties. I had those, and then when you mentioned unconditional love, the first thing that came to my mind was like, was it unconditional or did I just like not have any boundaries and I just let shit happen?
Ooh, yeah, that part.
So that's been on my mind. You know, I'm going through my my
we
single
reflecting.
issues.
We reflecting.
That's a big thing because my thing is, it's like you got to know that, and I feel like it's a personal thing because I'm a little selfish. I am.
Thank you for your transparency.
I am. It's also a personal thing for me because I like stability. I need to know that and it's an investment. If I'm putting time and energy into somebody, that when I'm at my lowest, you're able to be there for me.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like you gotta have that. We gotta be in love. You gotta care about me just as much as I care about you. Because that would be my biggest thing. And I always think about other people more than I think about myself. But I'm the opposite now. So it's like I'm a little bit more selfish. And it's like you got to be like that because you got to know what you need.
For sure.
Because if you ain't got that.
It's so crazy to go left right now. But the way we're talking about in love, and like it's like how people talk about God. It's like we call it by different things, but we all know what it is. We all know that feeling. We all know it. Like, that's so beautiful because God is love, you know. Like that's wild. I'll come full circle like that. Our last topic, and I like that you said somebody to have you when you at your lowest. And this ties into, does money really matter? Providing, dating for security, split 50-50. When I heard you say that, I thought of that. Like that's a fear of mine to be as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's just out here taking risks and trying to, I have a cleaning company, so I'm not getting a 9-to-5 paycheck. I get a gig, I get a gig, I'm doing a podcast, hopefully a check come through, you know what I'm saying? Something, music. Right. But it's like I have to know that if that's an expectation. If we're married, I have to know that you got me and I can provide in some other way, whether it's I'm holding home down, I'm making sure that you're good, because you can take care of your partner in a sense if you're not financially there. You provide the meals, you keeping the home clean, you making the appointments scheduled, you just running shit, but you're getting that financial stability. That's okay, and to know that somebody has your back when you're at your lowest, and then you come up, and then who knows, you ready to take care of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that is important.
It is important, especially like if you're responsible. You don't have to have it all.
Yes.
Especially at a time like this, it's hard to really have it all. Like some of us don't got it like that. Even I don't. But like you got to be responsible. Definitely. And even when you're at your lowest, are you going to place a burden on me, or are you going to find a solution?
Yes.
Very important. We're not both sinking.
I always say that I don't like a problem without a solution. So
usually
if you
they
come to me with a problem,
at the same time,
you should have a solution. And if you don't, we need to be figuring one out. I don't want to hear about it.
Exactly.
Right.
It's kind of like what you said. Like even with a friend, like when they keep talking about the same thing over and
Over and over.
It's like, well, what
again.
are we doing? What
Yeah,
we gonna do?
it's like every problem should come with a solution, or we should be figuring out one.
There's a woman I listened to. I probably mentioned her before. Esther Hicks, and she does. It's like church, if you will, positive speaking, energy, things like that. She says, anytime that there's a problem, there is a solution readily available. You just have to see it. So, people coming to you with problems, there is a solution. We should definitely that's a mindset thing, to be solution focused, solution oriented.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
that's progressive. Dating for security, providing. What are your feelings and thoughts on providing? What makes a provider? How can one provide?
I just think because of society, I think that you should just find somebody that you're equally yoked with. And I don't mean that just in regards to like make the same amount of money or just have the same goals, the same spending
Drive.
habits, things of that such, so that you guys are on the same page. I'm not saying, if you're a woman making 200,000, be with somebody that's making 20,000.
Yeah.
That's why I said be equally yoked, because you don't want to be the type of person where you're burdened with providing the lifestyle. You got to be with somebody that's aligned with you. But I do also feel like it shouldn't matter. Like I always say, like everybody wants to debate about this whole men with money don't care about spending money. Like, and I feel the same way with women that have money. Like as a woman, when you have money, your main focus when you meet a man is not his money.
Right.
You're not focusing on that. But I feel like some people get stuck in their ego. So it's like a lot of men think that if they could buy this woman, they can buy them all. Or you have these women who get stuck in their egos and they're like, well, I don't care if I make a lot of money. I still want his money. And my money is our money. Like, I just feel like everybody should just date people that are within their lifestyle or equally yoked with them.
Yeah.
Because that'll help with the whole money argument. And then also just morals. Because my thing is, if you as a woman feel like you shouldn't pay no bills, why would you be with a man that wants to split the bills in half?
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Those conversations need to be had before y'all
Definitely.
even start a
Yes.
household.
For sure.
Because there's really no wrong answer to
That's what
that.
I'm
That's why I don't
saying.
understand the arguments. You find what works for you financially.
And we have to right now. Like I said, I literally did a podcast where they were trying to say like men are supposed to be providers and women are more masculine nowadays and want to be hyper independent. And I feel like we got forced to be hyper independent because most men, the average man can't afford to take care of a full household.
Right.
And we just sit home and not work.
Right.
We got all forced out to survive. So it's like we all got to work together and just figure it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't feel a type of way about somebody being like, oh, I split the bills 50-50. If that works for y'all and y'all are in agreement. Now, if you feel a way about it, you shouldn't be with a man that wants to split the bills. Find you a man that's willing to not split the bills.
I feel as though it comes down to, like you said, the aligned goals and the drive or motivation. Like you both have to be equally inspired and equally motivated, both equally aware of what works and able to be creative problem solvers. If it's like create the balance. Even like I said, like even if it's not just financial, if it's, somebody has a goal, one person wants to go to school now, somebody wants to go back to school. So now they gotta, somebody needs more income. So the other person gets a second job. Like you have to be a teammate. You gotta be I know we're talking about money, but it's in everything. In everything, you have to be willing to bend a little bit and be flexible. Providing, I feel like it's everybody's job to provide. I tell my kids they got to provide with their energy and their attitudes and, like what they wake up, make your bed. You provide into this household because we care about the things that we have. So everybody needs to be providing in a structure, in a unit, if you will. 50-50, that's to each his own.
Yeah. Yep. And even if somebody wanted something traditional, and somebody made a good point too, about women who want a man to provide, they want to stay at home and not have to pay a bill and stuff. But are you willing to provide in other ways, like cook, clean, take care of the kids? Are you willing to do this and that?
Yes.
Like, just hold the house down while he is busy hustling, providing for you.
I saw a meme too. It said, somebody was saying if your man or your partner is supporting you financially 100%, and they ask you to make them get up and make them a sandwich at 3:00 in the morning. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm making a fucking sandwich. What do you mean? Like, baby, want a sandwich?
Shit, I'm making both of us a sandwich.
You know what I'm saying? I got everything I need, everything I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why not? It's like sometimes people feel entitled. You know, they want to. I heard the term brat. Like people are called brats. Like, oh, she's a brat. You know, and I don't think that's cute. I don't think it's cute. I feel like you got to give as much as you take.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just
And
about
I feel
take.
like some women got to take more too, because I was one of them girls. Now my hand be like,
You gotta be comfortable with receiving too. Yeah.
no, yeah, because I had a big issue with that.
Yeah.
Just in general, I've always been a giver,
Yeah.
and you just don't ask. You know, like you don't ask for shit, but now I'd be like, and I feel like
I'm
a lot
getting
of women,
comfortable.
a
I'm
lot of
getting
women have an
comfortable.
issue with that, and we gotta be, we gotta be more willing to ask because we can't assume that people know.
That comes down to knowing what you deserve, knowing your worth, being open to receiving.
Like, cause I seen somebody put up a good message, and she was like, they always say like, don't ask, and it's like if you don't ask, how will you get? Like, you don't know what you can get if you don't ask.
Yes. Yes. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna be told no.
Right.
And what you say no
Right.
mean? Next opportunity.
Next, I'll be
I was
right.
gonna say if I ask more than once, that's begging.
For
So
real.
no, I
Right.
don't beg.
No. We don't ask. We are not begging. We are not condoning begging. That was not the message. No begging and no chasing. I used
Yeah.
to chase. We don't do that. We don't do that no more. We know our worth. We attract. Okay. That's crazy because I feel like this episode just breezed by. We're done. So I feel like we should wrap it up with key highlights on creating or maintaining a healthy relationship in love. What is that? Can you give our viewers something?
What, in regards to being in love?
Yes.
Try to stay in love. So when you're not feeling like you're in love, fix it. Like we said, communication. Speak to your partner. Let them know what you're missing. Like, I feel like, and that's another thing, because as you grow, you tend to figure out that things change. It might be things that you used to like that you don't like anymore, or it might be things that you want to explore that you haven't explored before. Just be very open with your partner on what you want and what you need. And to be honest, also, if you're with a partner that isn't big on communication, I feel like you should always open the floor. 'Cause
Yes.
sometimes it takes that for you to say, how are you doing today?
Initiative. Yes.
What do you want to do? Have those conversations. Like, I feel like a lot of people are really scared, and that sucks because I feel like that plays back into being in love. That don't want to have uncomfortable conversations with their partner. And it's like, you got to have those conversations. Is there anything we can do in the bedroom? What do you want more of? What do you not like? And that's another.
Important.
I'm sorry, I have to touch on this. I hate hearing the conversation of women saying they never had an orgasm.
Right.
I hate that. I hate that for them.
That's crazy.
And they got to learn themselves first.
Yes.
And then you got to
That's
teach
the
your
key.
partner.
Yeah.
So tell your
definitely have to
partner. There's so
teach.
many women that I know that don't like certain shit their partner does, but won't say anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
what
cheating
it is.
yourself. That's a
It's-
cheating
yeah.
yourself segment right there when you do
Tell
that.
him.
Like, are you telling him what you want? Like, what triggers your orgasm? You know what I mean? Like, you
I
can't
mean,
just
some
sit there
women
and
is so
assume.
deep to where they don't even know. They don't even know, but they know they don't like certain shit, and it's like you got to be really
Open.
direct with your partner,
Honest.
even when it comes to little shit, like things that might make you feel away or that they say or they do that you don't like. Like, just be real open and honest. And I
Yeah.
feel like just keep finding what makes y'all happy. If it's certain things,
Come
like
back to that. Yes.
yeah, always come back to y'all focal point. Like you said, if it's reading books together or watching y'all favorite shows or just spend time, man.
Spend time, stay open and honest. I love that.
Communicate.
Build that foundation.
Yeah.
We
I
don't.
done forgot what the closeout question was, but I love all of that. When it comes to love and relationships, how can we maintain? How can we maintain that? Yayeezy?
And yeah, build that foundation. Build that foundation. That friendship comes. Whether sex came before or after, build that friendship with that person, because you should be able to still be connected with that person if you can't have sex with them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I should be able to still be myself around you during my menstrual cycle, or like if I'm not feeling well and I can't perform the way I want to, we still got to have that connection, you
Yes.
know? So that's important.
I agree.
Like the relationship has to have substance. A lot of relationships don't have substance. Like I said, a lot of people just go out, spend money, and have sex, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And post cute pictures on social media for that aesthetic look.
Yeah.
So
That's not love, y'all.
yeah, it's not.
That's not. I'm gonna say I wanted to touch on when you were talking about it's like a love language, when you were saying you have to open up and speak and say what you like, or be able to communicate and have those uncomfortable. You also have to be open to understanding, maybe write a letter. Maybe your partner doesn't, maybe that's a part of their love language, like learning their communication style, learn how to speak with your partner. That's important. Consider being, okay, the two things for me that will help a relationship maintain: staying present. You got to stay present, because all that shit you've been through in the past, you can't bring that up into this, because they are not them. You gotta separate that. You can't go to the future and assume and put that expectation and expect this if you're not communicating, because you're not gonna get there if you're not communicating. So you definitely got to stay present. And I also believe you got to stay considerate. It's not all about you, just as much as it's not all about them. Definitely make that space to hear sides. There's a lot of compromise, and that can be a debate. Some people are like, I don't have to compromise. I come as a whole.
You have to.
You have
Right.
to. That's a whole
I
other
always
person
say
with a
that
whole
you're never
nother
gonna
life.
you're never gonna
Yes.
find somebody that's 100% what you want.
No.
And you're not gonna be 100% what they want.
Yes.
And you're gonna have to compromise.
Yes.
So
So
that
that
is what it. Not on everything.
not on everything. You definitely have your non-negotiables.
Yeah.
But you gotta be flexible. You gotta stay present, because that's where the magic happens. You gotta stay present. You have to stay consider. And what was that last one we just said? That's the Delta H, y'all.
Right.
Look, it was some shit. Rewind it. Go back. It's there. But yeah, that's I don't even know what episode this is. Episode 14.
14.
We out here, baby.
Shout out
So
to y'all.
thank you.
I brought y'all some gifts.
We love gifts. We got a girl Ati in the background. Hey Ati.
Yes. Thank you. Can I open it?
Yeah, go ahead. So
I
it's from
love
my
how
brand.
your brand evolved.
Thank you.
over the
I
past
appreciate it. You've been a
decade.
support since day one. Model for me, all that.
Yes.
I've never met you.
Honorable mention.
It's lovely to officially meet you. I've seen you. Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Your aura matches the persona that I seen.
I appreciate that
Definitely.
even more.
Oh, little goodie.
But yeah, so we have our body shorts, which are like a really good seller. It's my best seller.
Okay,
So I get
we
really
can
good
do
reviews.
that. Vintageextinction.com.
Yes.
We got the Instagram.
Yes, we're on
Yes.
Instagram. It's ITSVE.
Oh, I like these.
It's VE. We got some shades.
On Facebook, we got Vintage Extinction LLC. Yes.
Yes. The
Oh, this might have to go on a laptop or something. I don't know. We got the drip drop.
Oh my god.
I like that.
Oh, I
Thank
love these
you.
frames.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, see. This is love.
Right.
This is love. Can I put them on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine are like, cut the show. Cut the shit. This is beautiful. I'm grateful.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yes.
You welcome back
I love to
problem.
talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome back. We're going to have you back. We could probably touch on more spiritual topics too, because I hear you. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to raise awareness, and just that awareness.
Ooh,
that
girl,
it's easy
yes.
to tap in no matter what you call
Look,
it.
I'm still going through my
What you-
root work, so.
Girl.
Check me out, son.
Oh yeah, those are cute.
Yes.
Got the pink tint.
Yes. That. Oh my god.
Kind of pink. I like that.
It's the what is it called? The blue light or
Oh, I see. I got a phone case like this. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
to protect you from
Those
the
are
sun
pretty.
rays.
Thank you.
You
Ooh. Come on.
Look at
I'm so
these.
Yes, come on.
Oh yeah, those are cute.
Okay.
It's a look.
Yes.
It's a look.
Yes.
You can, somebody, you pulling somebody stopping to look at you. They want to talk. They gonna want to talk.
All right. For
We
real.
don't got time. We got these shades on. We don't got time for them busters. We don't see
Cute
nobody.
too.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I love styling people. I was like, yeah, let me
I loved it.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys letting me come
I feel
on.
like I haven't bought from you in a long time.
No,
Like,
look,
damn,
it's
yo.
look. Everybody out here trying to survive. I
What
get
are
it.
these
The shorts
like biker style.
Mhm.
Oh, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wear them
and
to
the
the gym.
ribs, they're like,
Sure, I'm wearing them to work tomorrow.
Look,
they're like
I'm coming to class. I'm coming to class tomorrow.
Yes,
Watch,
and they
I'ma tag
nice
you.
and
Yes.
stretchy.
She be killing it. She be killing us in class. Training this stuff. All right, y'all. Episode 14. Make sure y'all
Yes.
follow our Goal Soul here. It's
Yes,
been real.
thank you for coming. Thank
no,
you.
thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to your audience. And real quick, what does the name of your podcast mean?
Warlock Horrors. Okay, so first of all, it's an inside joke between me and the original co-host. It had to do with finding love, finding a higher love, because people play games, and we were like, well, where do we find people who are into spirituality and just the magic of the world? ChristianMingles.com, things like that. And then it was like, what about WarlockHorse.com? So it just became like a joke. Now, sitting here today, I feel as though, even though it is provocative, I feel like there's a lot. If you look back into time when there were witch hunts and things like that, it was a term given to women who thought, who had thought-leading ideas, who connected with nature, who used elements of the world to connect to a higher power.
Yeah.
You know, some people, it's a provocative name. And I feel like it's a spin on what they probably already think.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'd be like that.
Yeah, so
I like it.
It's
It's
a conversation starter.
for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Especially like the word whores. Like some people say, "Oh, you practice witchcraft." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm spiritual." But
Yeah.
you know, I'm always going to be called but everything but a child of God. You know what I mean?
They're already, I
I'm
feel like
called all
women,
different types of names.
women who, not all women, but in today, like today's society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women with thoughts haven't been respected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Women who like to dress away haven't been respected. We're called all types of names: whores, hoes, thot, whatever.
Right.
These are all names. Call us what you want. I have a promiscuous past, you know, but we're here to talk about something. We've overcome that. That's a shadow. You understand? We've overcome these things, and now it's it's clickbait.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
Shit, I love sarcasm.
Clickbait. Come get some.
Yeah.
I make some
Right.
bags with like fat coochie energy on them and all types of stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm really into
Yeah.
outrageous, sarcastic
You
phrases.
got to.
It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're living in a time, not like, I don't know if you heard Beyonce album, but I know a lot of people may be shocked, like, oh my gosh, she's talking like that, and it's like, why not?
Why not?
Like, it's here, it's duality.
Yeah.
It's light and dark. It's all. Oh, I gotta close the show out. We still rolling, y'all. But thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week on BWC
Yes.
Media Network. Warlock Horse, baby.
Bye.